They're doing this on purpose. Government data breach, urgent warning from Bill Gates. Guys, do you have a favorite movie that you watch multiple times? I know I have. And even though I know what's coming up next in the script, I still enjoy watching it. Now, what I don't enjoy is the possible script that's being provided to us for the next pandemic. That's right, folks. We are looking down the barrel of another health crisis. But you and I, we've learned to take everything with a grain of salt. We're not disregarding anything, but we are a little bit more skeptical, especially when we receive brand new information about things that may be going on in the world of viruses. So here's the thing, guys. It feels like they're on to us. They know we're going to be a little bit more careful with what we do with our bodies next time. This is why they're telling us that the next crisis will now affect our children. Wow. So C-19 didn't affect them as much, but this next one, oh, we better take care of their kids. Doesn't this feel like we're already being gaslit? Now, on that note, we've heard about how great EVs are for the environment and how you'll end up making up for your initial purchase down the line with all the savings from gas, right? Yeah, they're great. They're so great, in fact, that a simple fender bender could cost you the price of another car. Can you say the same amount for gas-powered cars? And since we're talking about cars, did you guys hear about the data breach at the United States Transportation Department? Because I did, and I got all the information on that one for you guys. Definitely stick around to the end. No use taking up any more of your time. Let's get right into the facts. By the way, for the best way to invest in gold, check out the links in the description down below of this video. Now, it's best to be safe whenever we drive our cars out on the streets, right? But if you happen to own a Rivian, I suggest driving it in covered up bubble wrap. Now, for all this talk that EVs are starting to become more and more affordable, it's surprising to see that simple collisions could burn a hole in your wallet. So Chris Asphalt, I hope I said your last name right. He was in a slow fender bender earlier this year with his Rivian R1T. So the rear bumper was damaged, but it didn't look that bad. So he goes in to bring it to Rivian's repair shop and he got the total to get it fixed. Now, before I tell you guys the number, just try and comment a guess of how much you think that this repair might have cost him. You got it? All right, great. So the total cost given to him to repair this little minor fender bender, $42,000. Ouch. Now, are you ready to ditch your current car for something like this? And to be clear, the owner says that the repair shop followed Rivian's book down to the T. So no, it doesn't seem like they were actually taking him for a ride. Now, from the streets, let's go ahead and move on to our transportation department, as a recent data breach has exposed the personal information of at least 270,000 former and current federal government employees of the division. Now, you really got to feel some kind of fear or discomfort whenever you hear stuff like this. If they can't protect their own information, what's stopping people from getting ours? Now, from what I gathered, the breach hit their systems for processing reimbursements for commuting costs obviously provided to their employees. Now, because of this, the department has frozen access to the transit benefit system because who knows what else these people will try and do, right? Now, just to give you guys an idea, the maximum provided allowance for transit per federal employee there, it's $280 a month. Now, just going with the number of current workers who had their information taken in this breach, which is roughly 114,000 people, it's possible for the hackers to take out almost $32 million. But yeah, thankfully the fund has been frozen. But still, it's kind of a wild story, right? And much like this one, as more evidence is popping up about a new pandemic, man, who else is tired of having this narrative of another health crisis, right? I know I am, but we're not even close to being done. No, sir, not by a long shot. So the script's written, check this out. An article entitled, quote, "Could bird flu become the next pandemic?" End quote. Sounds kind of scary, right? I mean, it did just take out 50 million hens and chickens recently, driving up the cost of eggs and chicken. But after reading this, I found this part. Quote, "There have been no documented cases of human-to-human transmission of H5N1, end quote, or more commonly referred to as the bird flu." But it goes on to say this, quote, "As of April 2023, only a single person has been potentially infected in the United States, but this could have been a misdiagnosis because they had been culling birds. If someone is working with birds and getting their fluids on them, it is possible that very sensitive tests could detect the simple presence of the virus rather than the patient actually having a true infection," end quote. So there you go, guys. No need to worry because it's very different from the C-19 virus. But hold up, that's not necessarily the narrative that they want. This is the narrative that they want. In a press release in the UK, it says that 2 individuals recently contracted the avian flu after coming into contact with infected birds. Chief Medical Advisor of the UK Health Security Agency, Professor Susan Hopkins, she said, quote, "Current evidence suggests that the avian influenza viruses that we're seeing circulating in birds around the world do not spread easily to people. However, we know already that the virus can spread to people following close contact with infected birds, and this is why. Through screening programs like this one, we are monitoring people who have been exposed to learn more about the risk, end quote. So just to get it straight, they're willingly having people infected with this virus to confirm the risks. Heck, it's not like anything can possibly go wrong with that, right? So you gotta think, well, what's the plan now? Well, if you ask Bill Gates and the World Health Organization, the answer is easy. Vaccinations for children. Look at this from their own website. Quote, global partners announce a new effort, the Big Catch-Up, to vaccinate millions of children and restore immunization progress lost during the pandemic, end quote. Now, how much does Bill and Melinda Gates give to the WHO again? Oh yeah, they've donated almost 90% of the total amount donated by philanthropic foundations to the WHO. Some may say, Bill Gates again? Now, unfortunately, yes. And just like with the C-19 virus, he already warned us about this new crisis.
Well, we have to do two things at once. We have to bring this epidemic to an end, primarily by getting the vaccine out in large numbers to the entire world. And we have to make sure that we're ready because there will be another pandemic. And there's so many lessons about how we weren't prepared, how we should have handled things differently. And, you know, when that's clearly in our mind, those investments need to be made.
And just to drive the point home, just this April, Chelsea Clinton announced that she's working with both the WHO and the Bill Gates Foundation to have the largest immunization effort ever. Now, it just kind of feels like the same script from the previous vaccines, but instead of adults, they're targeting the children because we'd be way more worried about our kids, right? It creates fear and uneasiness. But again, like I always say, it's up to you guys to decide what to do with your body. And the same can be said for your kids. That's your call, not mine. So do you trust that these people will create a vaccine that's helpful for a virus that humans don't normally catch? And would you want it for your kids? Let me know in the comments down below. Now, if you ask me, I just want the best for my kids. Doesn't everybody? Now, I also want the best for you guys because this is one of the best communities here on YouTube. And I know that a lot of us are struggling, which is exactly why I always read my comment section down below. So if you want to drop me a message, I read every single comment that comes through. We could talk about improving cash flow, taking care of wealth, just being more financially responsible. Now, there's a ton to discuss about side hustles, small businesses, home-based businesses, especially if you're looking to generate multiple streams of income. Now, there's also investments in gold, investments in silver, investments in real estate, even the stock market. The opportunities are all around us, but you got to take the leap of faith and start moving forward with it. Now, before I wrap things up, do me a solid one. Just go ahead and drop a like for the video and share this video with a friend. Don't forget to subscribe for your daily dose of the truth. I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll see you on the next one.